Hello, all. This is Dr. Dave Maslach talking to you about reciprocity.com. The E is written with a three. And in this particular video, I want to talk about why professors actually need to publish. So, if you don't know me, I'm a professor of innovation strategy and entrepreneurship, and I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. There were so many people that helped me out to get through graduate school and then to eventually become a professor that I wanted to create something where I could pay the favor forward to help out other people that are going through the same experience of going through graduate school and just dealing with all of this kind of stuff, right? So, why do business professors actually need to publish? I think that there's three basic reasons. And so, when I'm talking about here, so first of all, what is publishing? That's where we actually have to write articles on a regular basis and submit them to journals, and then other people will critique those articles, those scientific articles, and then they'll give you feedback on them, and then we'll have to make changes based on that and then resubmit them to the journal, and then hopefully they get accepted. Chances are, if you don't know this, the vast majority of articles that are submitted to most very reputable journal articles that are submitted to most reputable journals are actually rejected. So the acceptance rate is generally a lot less than 10%. So that means 10 articles for every 10 articles that are submitted, only one will ever get through, and it's probably the odds are even less than that depending on who you are and what's going on in your particular life. It's very difficult to get any sort of article through in the journal. So why do we actually put up with this? So generally we will spend, maybe it's anywhere 4 to 6 months writing on a particular article and then submitting it to some place and then seeing if it gets rejected. Some people will take a lot longer, some people will take a lot less. But generally, you're looking at 4 to 6 months for most articles that are out there to get to the point where it's actually kind of a written thing, and then you submit it, and then it likely will get rejected. So why do we actually put up with this publishing game, right? Why are we actually doing all of this stuff? So in my experience, there's really three big reasons why most of us do this kind of stuff. So the first one is that there is extrinsic motivation to publish, right? So the way that we get a job in academia, the way that we actually finish and get a decent PhD is we get publications along the way when we get our PhD. And then the way that we actually get a job is, and this might be whether it's a postdoc job or maybe it is your first academic tenure track job, that is generally you need to have publications or sort of a very strong track record towards publications, that you have various, depending on the field that you're in, that you have papers that are in the sort of pipeline that you're working on and that they're well on their way. Now, it kind of changes as you're going along, and you need to get more publications to actually get to keep this tenure track job and to get tenure. That's what tenure means, is you have a significant number of research publications that you're kind of moderately famous at that moment. And then you continue on until you become a full professor, and that's when you write more and more articles, and then you become pretty famous at that moment. And then there's kind of even more and more sort of fame depending on what kind of school that you're going to go to, and all the accolades that you get. So it's just kind of this move towards, a lot of people are motivated by this sort of contest nature of the whole academic game and the publishing game. It's very much like a contest, and it doesn't really go away, where you're competing and trying to get to one particular outcome and sort of getting a little bit better than the person next to you, and it becomes this sort of competition and contest, right? And the whole academic game is very much like this sort of, it's just a game at the end of the day, and lots of people treat it that way, and lots of people are extrinsically motivated in that way. And then as you're kind of going to the top of the game, and if you're at the top, then you actually you can make a decent amount of money, so that there is extrinsic motivation from that. You get sort of rewards and research bonuses and all that kind of stuff by publishing more, and you get research grants, and that there is a lot of extrinsic motivation that is tied to the whole publishing thing. And then once you publish those articles, somebody else reads them, and it becomes part of somebody else's knowledge going forward. The second thing, and I think this sort of accounts for probably half the motivation, maybe, depending on who you are. I think it's a significant portion of the motivation, and it's really related to intrinsic rewards. And I think for me personally, this is a bigger thing. The money is okay, but it's not that good. There's better options in industry. You can make a significant amount more. For most professors, actually, you can make a lot more in industry, and people choose to be in academics. It doesn't matter whether you're in business or law or whether it is chemistry or biology, whatever it is. Most people choose to be in academics because they're intrinsically motivated by it and they really like what they are doing. And it is more of the challenge for me personally, and I know a lot of people, it's just the challenge of getting up every day, creating an idea that's from nothing, and then having other people sort of trash that idea. And they tear it apart and they say it's really bad and really awful. That's the whole game. And then you build it up from there and you continue to invest in this particular idea. So the logic is really different. It's a logic of being an innovator or an entrepreneur at that moment, where you're creating something from nothing and turning it into something that's beautiful. And mathematicians will talk about sort of beauty in mathematics, and it's very similar to when you're writing a paper and you're sort of passionate about a particular idea. You're really focused on what is called, Jim March who recently passed away, unfortunately, probably one of the biggest scholars of the last century that has probably not been rewarded as much as he has been. His supervisor, the person that he worked with very much so, was Nobel laureate Herbert Simon. And so Jim March, even though that he was a remarkable human being and made so many different impacts on many different fields, I don't think he got the accolades that he should have deserved. But anyways, I digress. Anyways, he talks about the scholar's journey and that you are focused on developing and becoming a better scholar, and just going through the act of discovery and search is a really fun thing. It's very tough. It's very much like being an entrepreneur, where you build something from nothing and then you eventually create this wonderful idea that maybe somebody reads in the future, maybe not. And hopefully you get other people to read it and that people say that that's a cool idea, and that's really what it's about. There's a little bit of extrinsic motivation there because you're looking for somebody to say that's a cool idea. But at the end of the day, it's just really the struggle and just feeling that struggle and wanting to do that struggle is a really fun thing for a lot of people. And I think that's what motivates a lot of people to do this and to continue past things that are really not all that fun, and to do things every day that are not all that fun. And then the third thing, and this is usually when people are a lot more senior, it's part of the reason why I'm doing the whole reciprocity project, is just to give back to other people. And they get a lot of satisfaction and a lot of gratitude by helping out junior or other people that are kind of in the same boat, and helping them. Maybe it's helping them publish to get through the whole process. Maybe that they are, there is some effects of having somebody with a senior name on a paper. It does make a difference to get through the journal article process. It shouldn't, but it does. That there is all sorts of effects like that matter. And then the senior folks generally like to help out other people, or giving them resources, for example, to help them publish a little bit more. Maybe that they are the ones that actually get grants and they can give money to other people to help them publish. And it's a really rewarding career at that moment, where you're giving back and helping out other people that are kind of in the works and they want to go a little bit further. So that's the biggest reasons really why business professors actually do publish. It's really associated with first of all, it's obviously direct motivations that everybody clearly sees. We get paid to publish. And then the second thing, and I think this is the more important, why the whole system started in the first place, and why people choose to do this, even though that they can get paid a lot more in other areas, it's just because they're intrinsically motivated. It's really, I don't like the word fun, but it's challenging, and you really like the challenge with the process. It's an experience that it's a journey that a lot of people just enjoy, and they enjoy in the same way as like climbing a mountain, right? That it is not a fun journey. People don't. It is not sort of the thing that is like wonderful and it's painful, but at the same time, it's a really challenging thing that you just like to do. Like as human beings Homo sapiens, that's what we like to do. Is we like to do things that are challenging and move in different directions, and that's really a big part of it. And the last one is giving back and trying to help out other people and other colleagues around. Usually, it's people that are a little bit closer. I like to. I'm doing these YouTube videos to help out other people. Doesn't matter where they are, as long as I'm getting I get a little bit of reward from that, just from helping other people, knowing that this maybe will be viewed by somebody in the future. So with that, if you like this video, do give me a thumbs up and do subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm trying to be as helpful for you as much as I possibly can. So all right, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.